Hey everybody, Mr. O here. Wanted to give you a little bit more detail on how to do your mapping assignment, which was the tracking of the zombie migration. This really is probably more simple than you think, and so I want to show you a couple things. If I'm doing the East Coast, and you may or may not be doing the East Coast, and it really doesn't matter if you are or not, because the process is the same. I'm going to start with New York City. That's going to be my very first location, so I'll just label it New York, and I can put a little bit more detail on my own map. But New York's going to be there. That's going to be kind of where the zombies begin. And then what I want to do is I want to see where the zombies are spreading. And as I can see from the data that Mr. O gave me, that the day 2 shows me a place in New Jersey, Trenton, New Jersey. And this may not exactly be where it's at. It's pretty close. So it's close enough, and I want you to notice something. Ask yourself, which direction did the zombies travel? They started in New York City, and then they went to Trenton, New Jersey. I think we can easily see that they went that direction. So the spread now is kind of to a southwest location. And so we're on our way if we understand that. The next city listed on day 2 is Bridgeport, Connecticut. And Bridgeport, Connecticut is just a little bit further up here. I'm just going to abbreviate because I don't have as much room as you do. But Bridgeport is someplace right there. And again, if we're thinking, all right, now the zombies are in Bridgeport, how did they get there? Well, if I look at my map, I can see that they probably went from New York because New York's closest to where they were, where the zombies are. So my guess is that they've traveled from New York to both Trenton and to Bridgeport. And so I'm going to put an arrow kind of going to northeast and a southwest. And now I can see that the spread's kind of going up and down. And again, if we can understand that, then we can start to see the spread. I'm going to do 2 more for you, and Philadelphia is our next map place, our next location. Someplace kind of over here. It's not probably exactly right, but it's close enough so that when we measure which direction they're going, our arrow will be right. So think about this for a second. We just added Philadelphia. How do you think that they got to Philadelphia? That's what you should be asking yourself. Does it make any sense that they went all the way up here from Bridgeport down to Philadelphia? Probably not. It makes more sense that they probably went from Trenton to Philly. That's probably how they got there because we already have a flow to the southwest, and it's continuing that flow to the southwest. And then our next one on here is Hartford, Connecticut. And so I'm going to add that. It's just a little bit further up here. I'm just going to abbreviate. Again, you probably shouldn't. I'm just going to abbreviate because I don't have a lot of room. Hartford, and how did they get to Hartford, I need to ask myself? Well, probably from Bridgeport, I would guess. I mean, that would make sense. It's the closest. And now, all of a sudden, our trend starts to go a little bit further north. And so I've got a little bit of a north migration, a little bit of a north diffusion, and a little bit of a southwest diffusion. And so if you do these one at a time, that's really all you need to do. And so again, New York was day 1. And so this would be our day 2. And this one was also our day 2. And then these lines are day 3. It traveled this direction on day 3. I can label those if it's easier. I could tell what was going on without those labels. And if you can, you don't necessarily need those labels. I'm just marking it so you can see it a little bit more easily. I will mention I've not done day 4 for you. So if you are doing the East Coast, you're not finished yet. You need to do the cities that were listed on day 4. But if I were to kind of be at the end, if I were supposed to predict day 4, for example, I would kind of predict that area for a day 5 attack. I would kind of predict this area for a day 4 attack if I was asked for a day 4 attack because it's flowing this direction and it's flowing this direction. And so that's why I'm predicting that, because I can see my arrows flowing that way. And that's really what I'm asking you to do. Start to show your arrows and which way they flow. You should do day 4. and you should predict day 5 and day 6 and tell me a little bit about why you think those are the 2 locations. And I hope that that helped you. If you need to rewind it, do it. If you need to pause this as you're kind of going through the second time, do it. If you need to go back and see my first video, do that too. These are meant to be support videos, and I hope that they help you. And if they do, leave a comment. Thank you.